Cool additions there, and the standard storage you get on an iPhone 13 is now 128 gigabytes, which is double before, but with no price increase. The new phones are available September 24th, starting at $699. The iOS 15 software update for older phones releases on September 20th. Pretty impressive stuff. That's our time at 5. Fox 8 News at 6 is next.
Thank you, Gabe. Now here at 6 o'clock, a viral challenge leading to criminal charges. Why a school district is warning parents about a series of videos happening on TikTok.
Mask advisory as COVID cases spread. Cuyahoga County leaders make a plea to help slow the spread.
There may be more than 100 days till Christmas, but you need to start shopping now, which items may be very tough to get thanks to a shortage of drivers.
Northeast Ohio's #1 choice for news. Cleveland's own Fox 8 News starts now.
The race to become Cleveland's next mayor is down to only 2 candidates. One of these 2 men will become the first new mayor in 16 years.
Both are Democrats with very different visions for the office and the city. Dave Nethers joins us live tonight. Dave, you have a look at the race, what's happened so far, and also where it goes from here.
Yeah, indeed. So one of these 2 is an experienced public office holder here in Cleveland. The other is a newcomer to public office. Both have some very different views on how they would run the city, and both sat down side by side this morning on Fox 8 News.
We shocked the political world.
Political newcomer Justin Bibb on Tuesday emerges as the top vote getter in a crowded Cleveland mayoral primary.
The results last night speak for themselves. We led all night. We won the primary with nearly 20% of the vote.
Appearing on Fox 8 News Wednesday morning, he interprets the results as an appetite for change.
Last night's results show that Clevelanders are desperate for change in this election, and our campaign is focused on that change.
Everybody will talk about change. Actually, doing change is hard.
People believed in the message that we crafted together.
Finishing second and advancing along with Bibb to the November general election is Cleveland Council President KELLEY, who appeared alongside Bibb this morning.
Taking change from where the problem is to where the solution is doesn't just happen. And you've got to understand how government works. You have to understand how the community works.
Both providing a glimpse into their priorities heading into the next phase of their campaign.
First priority is bringing together our safety forces, all the partners that are in this, and dealing with our epidemic of violent crime that's going on right now.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is something I've done with successful mayors all across the country. We got to do a top-down audit of every single department to determine what's working and what's not working to get our priorities straight.
Thanks to so many people.
Finishing behind both were former Cleveland Mayor and Congressman Dennis Kucinich and former Councilman Zach Reed.
We fought a good, valiant fight.
Who each of them endorses may help influence the general election.
I didn't get it through to either one of them, but I left a message, voicemail message for Kevin Kelly, and I left a text message for Justin Bibb.
I love Cleveland, and I wish the candidates the best, and I think Justin Bibb ran a great campaign.
I would say this, we cannot afford more of the same, and it's that experience that has gotten our city to this point, and my experience is a bit different.
I'm just going to ask the voters of the city of Cleveland to look beyond the talk. Look to what is the record of each candidate.
No doubt both of these campaigns will now analyze what resonated with the voters and what didn't in advance of this primary yesterday. Take maybe a little break, but there's only a couple of months until November, and there was a less than 17% turnout last night, and so you know that generally a November general election has a much larger turnout, and so things could be much different come November.
Boy, that is for sure, and certainly this is one race to watch. November right around the corner, Dave. Thank you.
Very interesting couple of months coming up. In the meantime, we tell you this, not very often that 2 candidates vying for the same title sit down side by side, but that is exactly what happened at Fox 8 News in the morning. Wayne Dawson sat down with Justin Bibb and Kevin Kelly. We'll have the entire discussion coming up in our next half hour.
A TikTok challenge is creating havoc in our local schools. One suburban police department is warning parents about this new craze, with kids stealing items from school buildings and leaving damage behind. Fox 8's Matt Wright is live in Rocky River. And Matt, this is a growing problem there.
Tracy, police say it's all being done to rack up likes on TikTok, but the potential consequences are much more serious including criminal charges.
It's not what students should be bringing home in their backpacks. Videos posted to TikTok show items stolen from school, including soap dispensers, a fire extinguisher, even a security camera, and it's happening here too.
So there's a TikTok challenge called Devious Licks.
Rocky River Police Patrolman Christopher Camp says there have been half a dozen incidents at Rocky River High School and Middle School since Friday.
Removing soap dispensers, paper towel dispensers. They've broken the handles on urinals. They've taken PVC piping off of sinks and shoved it down into toilets.
Students taking part in the Devious Licks TikTok challenge, stealing and destroying school property, then posting video online.
It's destructive and it costs the community a lot of money.
Sounds like a strange thing for children to be doing. I don't know what. Sometimes I wonder what the world's coming to.
It's prompted police to warn parents to talk with their kids about the potential consequences.
You could end up with a criminal record for this, and a criminal record, especially at a middle school age, is going to set you back, pretty far.
The Rocky River City School District says it is working with police regarding these incidents, and students involved have been appropriately disciplined. Police say those students could also face potential criminal charges.
The district saying in a statement, all technology and social media should be used cautiously and monitored closely by parents, guardians, to ensure the safety of students' emotional and physical health. As a school community, we will continue to offer guidelines and resources for safe online behavior. Rocky River Police say they're reviewing surveillance footage and interviewing students to track down those responsible.
They could be damaging not only their reputation, but their future with these acts.
Potential charges could include theft and criminal damaging. Tracy, police are trying to put an end to this before it gets even worse.
Yeah, and a great warning for parents out there because, again, there could be long-term ramifications for this. You could have a criminal record, and not only that, these kids are putting it out there on social media for everyone to see, and that stays out there for a long, long time.
Absolutely, it will stick with them and certainly not worth it for this sort of prank.
All right, Matt, thank you.
Ohio's reporting more than 7,700 new COVID cases today. That officially brings the 21-day total over the 6,000 mark. Hospitalizations are also well above average, with 292 admitted in the past 24 hours and 18 needing critical care. High transmission of the Delta variant has local and state leaders going to great lengths to make sure you know just how serious the situation is.
Jasmine Bailey joins us, and they said it outright. They want people to get vaccinated and put on a mask.
Yeah, and Cuyahoga County just issued a mask advisory. A lot of people may hear that and go, what does that even mean? It's different wording, but it is yet another strong recommendation to cover your mouth and nose if you're indoors, regardless of your vaccination status. Now, for weeks, Cuyahoga County has been an area of high spread that occurs when there are more than 100 cases per 100,000 people in a 7-day period. Well, Cuyahoga County is at about 360 cases per 100,000.
Our current trajectory of cases has us rapidly approaching a level of countywide transmission that is 4 times the threshold identified by CDC as high transmission. 4 times the threshold.
Now, right now, Cuyahoga County is averaging about 300 COVID-19 cases per day, and if you think about it, that's a 600% increase since July. Back then, the county was reporting around 35 cases a day. School-related cases in Cuyahoga are increasing too. The Board of Health says there's been nearly 1,000 cases reported this school year, and more than 80% occurred in the last 2 weeks. Currently, about 54% of Cuyahoga County is fully vaccinated, including 33% of African Americans and 44% of Hispanic and Latinx residents. At our current levels, Health Commissioner Terry Allen says there are a lot of people still at risk of contracting and spreading the virus and also experiencing severe symptoms.
Modelers at Case Western Reserve University and the University of Akron have validated this disturbing trajectory, as they are now predicting that we could exceed 1,000 cases per day by early next week if person-to-person contacts and transmission stay at the current levels and trajectories. These levels would represent our worst days from last winter. Area hospitals are reporting that they've reached 80% of their capacity to treat patients who may present with illness just as flu season is starting.
Now, that 80% capacity rate is adult beds. Area hospitals are currently using about 50% of pediatric beds, and ICU beds are a real concern too. Local hospitals are at 90% capacity in their ICUs. Health officials said today people need to keep that in mind. Lou Tracy, if you don't put on a mask, don't get vaccinated, they are predicting that they will start to have to turn away people for other concerns, and that could be something very serious for you or your family member in the coming months.
Jasmine, thank you.
Yeah, all the numbers trending in a wrong direction.
Well, employees of Akron Children's Hospital walked across the street this afternoon to protest the hospital's decision to require vaccinations or regular testing. The hospital released a statement saying it supports its employees' rights to peacefully express their views, and they're listening to their concerns.
Fox 8 team is now investigating an attack on a woman outside Hopkins Airport, and we have found the suspect is a convicted sex offender.
Chilling. It happened in broad daylight. The victim shared her story with I-Team reporter Ed Gallick. Ed.
Attacked outside the airport. Now a woman speaking out, and we found the suspect is a sex offender with an ankle bracelet to keep him under watch by authorities.
I was unaware that I was being followed, and next thing I know, this guy who I'd actually passed was at my door. Next thing I know, he was choking me. Throughout the whole thing, he never took his hand or hands off of my throat.
A woman tells the I-Team her survivor story. Tuesday, mid-afternoon, she got attacked walking to her car, forced into the car in the hands of a violent stranger, steps away from the terminal at Hopkins Airport. She works in the terminal, and she'd parked here next to the orange lot at Hopkins.
I fought back, though. I was able to get away. Very scary. Scary.
Once the victim got away, the attacker took off too. Cleveland police say they found him later here at the airport in another parking lot. They also found he's a convicted sex offender who's supposed to be under watch, wearing an ankle bracelet so that he can be monitored. So we investigated that. Police arrested Rickwan Bennett under watch by state authorities after doing time for gross sexual imposition in Stark County. He's also been convicted of robbery in Cuyahoga County.
I think it just makes all of us scared to walk back and forth to our car.
We found the attack alarming to other airport workers too.
I'm very surprised that something like this happened in the middle of the day when it is an airport.
Not clear how Bennett may have been walking around Hopkins Airport to carry out an attack while wearing an ankle bracelet to help authorities keep an eye on him. Now, some airport workers calling for more police patrols in parking lots, and the victim has some advice for everyone.
I would like for people to just be aware of their surroundings.
Late today, a charge of kidnapping filed against Rickwan Bennett. He goes to court in the morning to face a judge.
This story is so terrifying, again, happening in broad daylight, and this kind of goes back to how closely were authorities monitoring this guy.
And the state prison system will not say specifically how it monitors specific people released from prison. At the same time, we can tell you this guy is a sex offender required to register once a year his address, and he last did that in June.
Well, simply cannot have that. We know that. Thank you, Ed, very much. The city of Cleveland and a development firm just unveiled a plan to transform the riverfront area. Fox 8's Jack Shea has the highlights of the plan for us tonight that supporters believe will take up to 30 years to complete.